Alright, welcome back. So I realize a big problem with this channel and with me is that I'm not British enough to be cool, to be super hip on YouTube. Let me remedy that, because actually I am British. I'm very British. I just have this speech impediment that makes me sound like one of those daft Americans. And I can prove it because this is my mug. See, this is tea right here. Lots of tea. And also I have this cool Doctor Who poster. See, that I keep on my wall. I listen to all those super hip English bands like Led Zeppelin, The Smiths, Gang of Four. So I am, in fact, I'm British, so you should think that I'm cool and not judge me. The important thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, that actually pertains to anything, is this picture I found on Tumblr. I was scrolling through Tumblr. I probably got sucked in while I was trying to do something. And I found this picture here. I'm assuming that it's actually gonna pop up if I figure out how to insert pictures into this shit. I started saying it. Not just randomly, out of nowhere, but I was replacing my expletives with it. So someone would cut me off on the road, and instead of doing my usual rant and raving and punching shit, I just calmly and coolly said, if you gonna act like a bitch, you gonna die like a bitch. Or if, like, I dropped my phone and it broke into, like, 50 pieces. Seriously? You're gonna act like a bitch, you're gonna die like a bitch. What this has managed to do for me is, A, it calms you down, because by the time you say it, you've had the chance to take a few breaths. Second, it adds a lot of dynamic to the whole situation and to the other people. Instead of the person that pissed you off just being, or the object, just being this like one-sided character of a douchebag or an angry dickhead, it fills them out, right? All of a sudden, they're a bitch, and I'm using this in the context of a coward who acts out inappropriately in his cowardice. And there's this whole dynamic of natural consequences, which is good to keep in mind. They all of a sudden have desires, they have fears, they have hopes, they have a life. They're acting like a bitch, and they're gonna die like a bitch, right? The consequences are gonna catch up with them. And all of a sudden there's this huge struggle going on, and it adds a glimmer of humanity in them too. They're not assholes out there. They're an actual human being. It adds the glimmer of hope, right? Maybe a little bit of pity, maybe not. You should pity them because their life has brought them to this point, and that's a tragedy because they're gonna die like a bitch. And then that sympathy for them adds a glimmer of humanity in yourself, and all of a sudden there's this bigger interaction going on. Also, it makes you feel on top of the situation. You are the one who sees the bigger picture, who sees the whole. You want to make a U-turn, and the light says no U-turn. Well, light, if you're gonna act like a bitch, you're gonna die like a bitch. And why is that interesting? Why is that dynamic? Because whoever built that light, whoever designed that, was afraid of the U-turns. They're acting like a little bitch because they're afraid of what may happen, right? The chaos of society, of the human mind is involved in all of this. And they're afraid of it. They fear it. And because of that, they're gonna die like a bitch. So that's the importance of that phrase. It's the philosophy of the sloth meme. So take it, apply it to your life, and you will be a better person. You guys take it easy. It's just looking at things differently. Motherfuck. My computer died. Fuck my face. Hold on. I don't always burp, but when I do, I burp Dos Sakis.